Reminder, let me say this again. This is a King of the Hill format. I've added every expansion other than Classic. Legacy is not here. I put them into a tournament per se, and we're gonna find out what I believe is the best Hearthstone expansion. Now, you guys might be saying, does my opinion matter? Can I vote for this? I don't care. Like, I don't care. I'm kidding. How are they seeded? Doesn't matter. They're completely random. The first round, United and Stormwind, everyone's favorite, or the Grand Tournament. Now, this is actually a really interesting debate here. Most of you probably know me as the biggest Stormwind hater of all time. But what did the Grand Tournament do for the game? We're gonna have to go through and see what each expansion brought. And luckily for us, Hearthstone on their website has a really good way of doing this. So let's find United and Stormwind. United and Stormwind involved what? Tradable. I think overall tradable was a really good mechanic. I really like it. Probably one of the best keywords in the game. There's a reason why they continued using it past Stormwind. It's because of how great the keyword plays and how great it feels. Absolutely love this keyword. But then we got quest lines. Now, do we need to go back to 2021 where I almost quit this game entirely? Raise your hand if you hate quest lines, because I'm right there with you. When I think about quest lines to this day, I still shudder and I scream in the middle of the night thinking about it. Professional tools. Now, a lot of these tools, if I remember correctly, weren't that great. Let me go take a peek what we actually got here. It's important to get like a full reminder of this. Leatherworking kit was there. Jewel kit was there. I think some of these got buffed. I can't remember. This was a card. And I think we got mounts, but most of the mounts were bad. Oh, let's go. We got Battlegrounds cosmetics. Let's go. Grand Tournament. Oh, look at this. All right, what do we get? We got, they privated the video. Wait, what? Oh, we got a board. Remember boards, chat? We got a couple good cards in this set. Most of the cards were really weak. I think Inspire is, even to this day, one of the most lackluster keywords. In theory, it sounded really cool, but in practice, it ended up being not great. Yeah, most of these cards kind of suck. I remember this card being regarded as like one of the best cards of all time. I thought this card was going to be really good back in the day when I was bad. We also had the joust mechanic. I actually really thought the joust mechanic was interesting, but it didn't reward like good. You couldn't really build a good deck for Joust because you have to make your deck slower in order for you to win more often. But if you make the deck slower, then you're probably not winning games as often. I don't know what expansion I think is worse here, to be honest. If you're asking me how much fun I had way more fun in this. If you're asking me for the impact on the game, this one had more of an impact on the game. I'm gonna give it to the Grand Tournament because I feel like nothing is gonna be worse for me than this. Tradable is really good and there's some cool cards in that set, but my fucking God, I hated this set with all my heart. What was so bad about Stormwind? In my opinion, Hearthstone is at its best when the game relies on board tension. The thought process of, do I kill this minion or push face? Do I kill this minion now so I can play this card? Then Stormwind comes along and says, hey guys, the board doesn't matter anymore. Dead. Turn 4. For me personally, of these two, I'm picking the Grand Tournament. Murder at Castle Nathria versus One Night in Karazhan. I don't know how many of you guys remember Karazhan, but it was kind of ass. What did Karazhan really have? Let's just put this on in the background while I'm yapping here. What did Karazhan really have? Karazhan had a really good theme. One of the most important things about each Hearthstone expansion is the theme that you get with it. Also, the adventure that accompanies this set is amazing. So yeah, I think overall, One Night in Karazhan's best quality was the adventure and the flavor of it. To be fair, let's go look at some of the cards that were actually in this set as well. There's a couple cool cards in here. Discard Warlock got a lot of good cards. But then there was this bitch. Mediva's fun. Curator was really, really fun. There's a lot of, there's some good cards here. Oh yeah, the legendary Purify meme. Oh my God. Here we go with Castle Nathria. So we got locations. I think locations have been one of the best additions to the game in a very long time. So I'm a big, locations alone might be able to push us above One Night in Karazhan. Yeah, we had Renathal. Renathal, I mean, we'll get to Renathal in a hot minute. I love this card as well. I'm just trying to see what was broken. Like this card was ridiculous. But chat, above all else, this set released this card. Does that automatically make it worse? I also really liked Infuse. I thought Infuse was a pretty fun mechanic, and they had Theatarn here. The Jailer. My goat. This is kind of a toss-up, to be honest with you. I feel like you can make the claim for both. Murder at Castle Nathria, locations, Renathal, Infuse. Good set, honestly, as well for flavor. I'm actually a big fan of it, but they did have some pretty shitty cards. I think it gets a buy because of how good the adventure is. Chat, I'm sorry, it has to be Nathria here, I'm pretty sure. This one was great, but I'm gonna go here. March of the Lich King versus Fractured and Alterac Valley. I gotta be honest here for this one. When Fractured and Alterac Valley came out, I was playing Mercenaries. Caught, it is what it is. Fractured and Alterac Valley was still in the worst year of Hearthstone, in my opinion.
Honorable kill.
How would you guys rate Honorable Kill? I think Honorable Kill was fun, but it was not a great mechanic because it was hard to do. Well, it's not this cool choose your faction thing. I actually really like this. This was really, really good. Then we have March of the Lich King. Now, I feel like, didn't something really big happen at March of the Lich King? I feel like they did something. Oh, I remember. They added the very first neutral spell to the game. First neutral legendary spell in the game. Huge moment for Hearthstone. I love this card. Obviously, they added the Death Knight class into the game. I'm going to be honest. I feel like Death Knight was very successful. And I would maybe argue that Death Knight is the most popular class in the game at the moment. I think people love this class. They love the design of it. They love everything about it. It can play a variety of different ways. March of the Lich King was a success just because of this alone. We also got Mana Thirst. I thought Mana Thirst was a really good keyword. Now, there is one card from this set, which is this motherfucker. This card was the bane of people's existence. Or was it actually this card? Instead, was it a card that was added to the set, the core set, at the start of the next year? And his name is Brannith Bronzebeard. Wait, was he added during this? I think he was added next year, right? Or was he during this? I can't even remember. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of just like yapping here. I'm pretty sure this one's obvious. I'm pretty sure March of Lich King is better than Fracture and Alterac Valley for like almost everyone in chat. I'll give it a March. Okay, chat, this is where I'm gonna need your help probably the most here.
If it isn't obvious, I haven't played a ton of The Great Dark Beyond.
As far as I am aware, The Great Dark Beyond has not really hit its mark. I think we have to kind of go through what the Great Dark Beyond has been going for, and the problem seems to, oh, look at this, goddamn. The problem with the Great Dark Beyond seems to be that starships are really hard to make them work because you're basically making a big minion that gets removed with a single card, and you put all that effort into it for this reason. There has been a really recent patch that I have not played yet, so I have no idea how good the starships are good now. On top of that, they added Draenei as Dran like Bran. They added Draenei to the game. Shout out to Leo. I don't really know how Draenei have really been hitting. It really depends on how this new patch is going. Chat, is the Great Dark Beyond powerful now? There's not a single Draenei deck. I will say, in terms of flavor, because I brought it up when we talked about the grand tournament, this set's flavor is really good. Like, looking at the art of a lot of these cards, chef's kiss, baby, chef kiss. I'm very biased towards the Great Dark Beyond, but this bracket is so rigged, putting up against Cobalt immediately. It's not rigged. I'll talk about Cobalt because I was there for Cobalt, at least for basically the entire set. Chat, I love this set. I'm gonna be honest. This is in the year of Ungoro, Knights of the Frozen Throne, and Cobalt and Catacombs. All of these sets were really, really good. The flavor around this set is really, really good. Most importantly, this brought Dungeon Run, which I think over the last Hearthstone X years has been one of the best things they've done to this game. So I think that's a huge up for Kobolds and Catacombs. There are a couple really stupid cards in this set. Corridor Creeper is a really good example of one, but they added a lot of really fun things. So first and foremost, every single class got a legendary weapon. Now, were all of them good? No. Who remembers trying to make the Dragon Soul work? I did. So what do we get in the, oh dude, we had so many fun cards in this set. Maybe the best Warlock card of all time at this point. Zola was great. Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, don't get me wrong, cards like this existed. This card was obviously great as a 5/5. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, I think I had Great Dark Beyond's actually better. Void Daddy came. That sounded really strange. Carnivorous Cube was added to the game. Really, really cool card. Thank you overall. Candy goes, I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna go to Cobalt's Catacombs. I'm gonna go to Cobalt's Catacombs. I haven't played enough of the Great Dark Beyond to really like talk about it. Oh fuck. Chat, I don't know if you guys remember Darkmoon Faire or what was happening during this time, but I feel like it's important for this set. We got the boys back. They came back in town. It was really great. I think a lot of people really liked Cthulhu's design. Obviously Yogg. I hated this card. We'll talk about this card in a second. Corrupt was added to the game. Most importantly, and I have to talk about this because I feel like it's very important. Do you guys remember what was happening during the time when this set came out? Do you guys remember what it was? Rarran was more handsome? All right, listen, bitch. Fridge got it. The Battle Pass, chat. The Battle Pass was a really big deal because when they introduced it to the game, it was worse than the previous system, even though Daddy Blizzard, they would never lie to us, told us that it was better. The whole community was riled up against Blizzard at that time. Darkmoon Faire did get shafted because of it. As much as we can shit on Blizzard, which, you know, we all love to, right? It's a classic at this point in time. We love it. Darkmoon Faire had a lot of fun cards. I feel like a lot of this set was designed in a very nice way, except for this card. This card can go fuck itself. We got cards like this, baby, like this. We got cards like, where is it? Where, hold. Silas is fun. Everyone loved Ticketus. I remember that. Okay, then we go down to Voyage into the Sunken City. Chat, I'm gonna be real with you. If it wasn't for this set, would I still be here today? I don't know. I don't care if I get copyright claimed for this song. This is the first set where they added Nagas, just like we saw with Great Dark Beyond with Draenei. There's a couple decks that I wasn't a huge fan of, but overall, really happy. We also got Colossal Minions. Colossal Minions, I think, were really good. Some of them were a little weak at the start, but overall, for what they wanted to do with Colossals, I think they did a phenomenal job. I think, personally, Dredge is my favorite keyword they've added from any expansion. Discover, I like Dredge more. I think Dredge is a good keyword. I love the keyword. This set was good. Like, just scrolling through this set, I feel like there's a lot of things you could be really happy about it. There's just, I mean, even the curse mechanic, which like some people hated, I thought was fine. All right, chat, Darkmoon Faire is gone. I'm sorry. Darkmoon Faire is good. Don't get me wrong, but Sunken City is more fun. Forge in the... Can we just skip this one? Can I just pick Ungoro, please? Do we have to go through Barons? Ungoro was so fucking good, man. Maybe one of the best metagames of all time in Hearthstone. Quests were fun. Flavor was fun. I'll get more into Ungoro when we get to a tougher competition, but there's no way that this is beating it. I think almost everyone can agree that this set is just objectively worse than this one. So I'm going with Ungoro here. Ooh. This is actually a really good one. I gotta give a lot of respect to Skullman's Academy, and let me explain why. Ashes of Outlands was Demon Hunter City. Skullman's Academy had to come in and kind of give the game a fresh feeling again after being just dismantled by Demon Hunter for like 3 years, or 3 months, I should say. League of Explorers, on the other hand, though, what is this image supposed to be, by the way? I'm very curious. I don't know. Obviously added Elise, Bran, Sir Finley, Reno Jackson, 4 characters that are still being used till this day because of how impactful they were to Hearthstone. They also added arguably the most popular keyword of all time with Discover. People either really like, I think overall, I think Discover is a really good keyword for the game. You could say that Discover is too much random, whatever you want to say about it, but for a casual card game like Hearthstone is basically the mechanic that embodies what Hearthstone probably should be for a lot of players. Reno Jackson might be one of the most iconic characters I've ever seen from a card game. Cursed Blade, who could forget? Or like Tiny Finn? Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good set. But let's not forget Skullman's Academy. Skullman's Academy, man, was a good set. Who could forget everybody's favorite card, Penflinger? That set but had the worst card ever. Wait, what's the worst card ever, Pocket? Share your thoughts on the class. Oh yeah. The original state of this card was definitely a problem. This was a very egregious card. I do agree with you. But like, was there really any other card from this set that, I mean, actually Janus was so good too. Holy fuck, Janus was so nasty. There's a lot of really good cards in this set. But Rattlegore is so fun. I love Spellburst as a mechanic. I'm gonna settle this chat and you guys can hate me if you want, but above all, this is my list, all right? This is my list. I think it's very hard to argue how important League of Explorers is to Hearthstone. Maybe the most impactful keyword we will ever see in the game, and Reno Jackson. And for a mini like adventure to do that with 30 cards is pretty insane. I'm gonna go with League of Explorers. Whizbang's Workshop, or this is the mini set, by the way. This is the mini set, chat. This is Galakron's Awakening because it's technically its own adventure. I didn't do this with any other mini set because they all fall under the expansion except for this one. This was the last one because it had an adventure tied to this. So this is Galakron's Awakening, chat, not Descent of Dragons. I feel like I'm biased towards adventures, but for the most part, a lot of these cards were kind of lackluster. Sorry, I had a moment of like a flashback of what was added during this set. This card's like, I love this card with all my heart. Some of these cards are really bad though. Remember, like, what is this thing? Chop Shop Copter? I mean, again, for these tiny ass sets of 35 cards, they actually did a pretty good job. This card single-handedly allowed us to defend against Demon Hunter during Ashes of Outlands. God bless this card. But let's talk about Whizbang's Workshop here. Now, this one's obviously a little bit more recent, and I will get there as soon as the website can load. Miniaturize. as the keyword. Chat, I really like miniaturize. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's a really good design. It allows them to print some pretty unique cards, and it does add a lot of interesting things you can do with the board. Ziliax is a really cool thing that they added to this game. I don't know how we really feel about having a neutral card this powerful in the game, but I think the mechanic behind it is really, really cool. I'm just trying to see if there's like, I mean, Boom is fine. Ziliax is just so good. Remember when this card was, it's still 4 mana on the website. Remember when he was 4? Oh my God. Am I really gonna say that Galakron's Awakening is a better set than Whizbang's Workshop? I'm a huge fan of adventures, man. I wish they would do them more, and it really pisses me off that they don't do it. Whatever, I'm gonna pick it. Yo, my God, what another banger here, to be honest. The Witchwood had a good setting, had the Echo mechanic, which I think overall was pretty lackluster. I mean, Witchwood was defined by these 2 cards, right? It's almost not even a power level issue. It's more just how the games are played, because they often played almost the exact same way, right? Rush is obviously such an impactful keyword to this game. I feel like if your card does not have Rush, it has to have a very good line of text on it. And then we have Monster Hunt, baby, which was dope as fuck. Woods was played. Vexcor was kind of played. Piper, I hardly know, was played.
Hello, Rarran Optimus Prime, here to give my 2 cents on this contest. Perils in Paradise had Lanessa feet and AFK feet. Witchwood had no feet as far as I'm aware. Seems like an easy pick to me.
Oh my God, Optimus Prime, as always, you fucking gooner. All right, let's talk about Perils in Paradise here. I am a big fan of the tourist mechanic. Regardless of how it has been, regardless of its power level, I think the concept behind it is really cool. I actually really wish they would lean a little bit more into like multi-class cards. One of my dream tavern balls is to just build a card of any 2 classes and use every card available to me. I actually really like this set. I also like the flavor of this set. But I could say the same thing about the Witch, but I think the flavor is really, really good. It's like the same conversation as like League of Explorers for me though, it's hard to argue that Witchwood wasn't like a better set because of Rush. I don't think Perils in Paradise is a bad set whatsoever. I think there's way worse sets than this. I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably just picking Witchwood though. Like Genin was kind of unfortunate though, but whatever. And I'm gonna go with Witchwood here. Oh, okay. I'm gonna trigger people with this one. I'm gonna be honest. Goblins versus Gnomes is a bad set. The more I look back at Goblins versus Gnomes and the more I play with the cards involved with them, I hate it more. I hate it more. I think what Goblins versus Gnomes did well is lean towards randomness, and people really liked randomness. I know people are gonna be like, what the fuck? Goblins versus Gnomes was so good. What the fuck? This is like the worst design card I've ever seen in my life. I still, like, in hindsight, can't believe a card like this was made. Now, in terms of like flavor and stuff, I feel like it was fine. I think a lot of people like this set. I feel like there's a bunch of Warcrafty characters doing a bunch of Hearthstone-y things, and I feel like that's exactly what they were going for. But my God, like this card, like, just remember, like, Piloted Treader was ran in almost every single deck, and like the 2-drop that you summon of it could decide the game on the spot. Like, I just want to make that very clear for those of you who don't remember. I feel like GVG is gonna get such a pass for people because of how nostalgic it is for people, you know? Rise of Shadows, in my opinion, was really good for flavor. They also had Dalaran Heist. They also had a lot of interesting keywords in here. We had lackeys, we had schemes, we had twin spell. I think the schemes were fun. Not great. Not all of them are good. Twin spell was great. One of my favorite keywords as well. So on some really broken cards here, but overall great. Lackeys, on the other hand, were good at the start, and then they got a little too spicy for my taste. I think once they added the Draconic Lackey in Descent of Dragons, lackeys started to be a little less fun because of just how much they got. I think Rise of Shadows was a good set. The question is, do I think it's more important than GVG? I think what made GVG so fun was the streams that were involved with it and the game being fresh. Yeah, I'm going with Rise of Shadows here. I really think this set is just, it's not a good set. Boomsday versus Whispers of the Old Gods. Let's get this one out of the way. Boomsday severely got fucked because of A, the Witchwood introducing Genin, and B, the sets from last year when that set was released were absolutely fucking absurd compared to the Boomsday project. For me, this is an easy pick. Curse of Naxxramas versus Ashes of Outland. I fucking hate Ashes of Outlands because of Demon Hunter. But the thing about Nax is Nax had Undertaker. And then there's a conversation of what is worse? Was Undertaker Hunter worse than Demon Hunter's Reign. Nax was very important to the game though, because it was the first expansion. I know people are gonna say like you should pick Nax immediately, but let's give Ash of Outlands a chance here, okay? Let's skip Demon Hunter for a second. We have the primes. Most of the primes were fine. The only prime I'm not a huge fan of is the mage one when it's played against you. We have Dormant. See, I'm actually under the opinion that Demon Hunter is good for the game. I just hate the way it's designed. But apparently that's how Demon Hunter is in World of Warcraft. I think HS would be better if they haven't introduced new heroes. No, I disagree with that. I think Death Knight has been very good for the game. Demon Hunter just sucks ass. Primes are cool. Kane. Ew. No, it's Nax. That card alone, it's Nax. Ew. Oh, ew, disgusting. Okay, so yeah, Undertaker was a problem, right? That we can't pass that up, but it was a disgusting card. Nax was pretty powerful. Avenge was played. This card kind of was disgusting. Played, kind of played. Arguably one of the best cards of all time, still to this day, by the way, in my opinion. This card was played in Wild at some point. Played, kind of played. I think maybe it was played. No. No. I'm gonna be honest, chat. It is almost impossible for me not to just outright pick this. I don't think Ash of Outlands was like the greatest set of all time. Again, I am very biased here because I hated Demon Hunter with an absolute passion, but I'm going Nox. Rostacon's Rumble versus Festival of Legends. Ass versus ass right here. Yo, relax. We'll start off with Rumble here. The thing about Rostacon's Rumble was most of the cards were really, really bad. The best thing about this set is this. I am not even gonna go through Festival now. I'll go through it for the next one. Rumble was a very, very mediocre set that didn't have a ton of really impactful cards, which makes me have to pick this. This one is going to be very difficult to decide which one passes. We'll start with Mean Streets of Gadsden. I actually really like the flavor of this set. I don't know about you guys. Different tribes working against one another. We got Donnie in this set, Mr. Don Honcho in this set. Really cool like mechanic, by the way, of like the tri-class cards. Kazakis was fun as fuck, bro. Love that guy. Overall, really, really fun. But the bigger problem with Mean Streets is Pirate Warrior was absolutely rampant, bro. It was disgusting. Fire Warhawks got nerfed for Patch's sins. Sorry, Rarran, but Death Knights could never beat this. What is this? You can't. Okay, listen. Respectfully, I understand. But I can't be like, Day 9 said this for Mean Streets of Gadsden, so therefore Mean Streets of Gadsden is the best set. That you can't fucking do that. That's not fair. It did have some really fun cards, right? We had Mistress, of course, the small time Buccaneer. Voxy showed up. It was fun as hell. Right. I mean, that card wasn't very playable. You know what I mean? Devolve was good. Then we go to Knights of the Frozen Throne. Knights of the Frozen Throne, from a flavor standpoint, might be one of the best ones of all time. It is so cool to watch these characters that we have been accustomed to for a very long time become a Death Knight. And as someone who has never ever played World of Warcraft, I really appreciated it. Then we got Lifesteal, chat. Lifesteal is a very important mechanic for the game, as you can see nowadays. Death Knights are absolutely the deciding factor here. They were all fun in their own ways. See, I also agree with that. I'm just gonna double check if there's anything I'm missing here. Oh, this set actually had a lot of shitty cards in it though. Skulking Geist is really enjoyable. Remember 5 mana Spreading Plague though? I don't know, chat. This one's really tough actually, because I think both sets have a reason to fight for it. I think for most people, Death Knights was the most fun mechanic ever introduced up until that point. Having a hero card for every class was almost unstoppable, like in terms of just how fun it was going to be, right? I am going to go with Frozen Throne. I think you can make an argument for both of these sets. Showdown in the Badlands versus Descent of Dragons. My God, what a matchup for the final round of 32. This set was really good. This is the set, chat.
This is the last time I can play this wonderful game without Demon Hunter being in it. I'm gonna be honest here, guys. Can I just pick this set because Demon Hunter wasn't in it?
No, I'm kidding. If you played during this time, this was maybe the most broken card of all time. This card was disgusting. I thought at this point in time, I was like, there's no way the game's gonna get more powerful than this. And then Demon Hunter showed up and I wanted to die. Showdown in the Badlands. Quick Draw, which I think in theory is really cool for the set. But again, mechanically, it didn't work as well as probably they hoped. But I think it did its job. Excavating I don't know about you guys, but I love excavating. I think it's such a fun keyword. For what it was supposed to be, they did a very good job. It was fun. The snake was a little broken, don't get me wrong, but the mechanic itself feels really good to play with. And I think it's exactly what they wanted the game to be. I remember looking at this set being released and I was like, I don't know about it, but it played so much nicer. And I feel like even though Reno is a part of this set, it's really fun. It was a really fun set. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple cards that are really, really shitty and we'll get to them in a second. But my GOAT, my absolute, one of my favorite cards of all time.
This fucking card, I want to die. This fucking card.
And for which class?
It's for Demon Hunter.
That's the nerf version, yeah. Fucking Demon Hunter, man. Always ruining my life. I mean, Bran was released at 6 mana, and I could have told you that that was bad. I did tell you that was gonna be bad. Reno, depending on how you feel about it, listen, it is what it is. You know what, man? I don't even know how to make this decision. This is actually really tough. I actually think this set's very good. Chat, I hate to do this to you guys. I really hate to do this to you guys, but I actually think I'm gonna go show it on the Badlands here. Titans is here. Chat, I'm gonna tell you this right now because I'm an idiot. I only did a round of 32, but there's actually 33 sets here. I don't know if you guys have noticed what set is missing, but at the end of this, I will talk to you about the last set here, which might be my favorite set, so it's very funny. All right, we talked about Voyage in the Sunken City. Let's talk about Titans. I think they introduced maybe one of the best keywords of all time, which is Titans. They also did Forge, which I think Forge played really well. Thematically, I think this is a very good set, but here's the one problem with Titans, chat. Here's the one fucking problem. The cinematic for this set was absolute dookie. Yeah, at least we had a cinematic. Remember when we got cinematics? Flash of Lightning, where the fuck this card. I mean, again, still past that point though, it's a fun set. This card was obviously very bonkers. Sargeras was cool. I mean, this is actually a really tough one too. I feel like Titans definitely had some flaws, but it was a fun set. But man, Voyage is tough to pass on, dude. I'm gonna be honest. It's probably still Voyage. I like Titans though. In hindsight, I like it a lot more than I remember liking at the start. Yeah, it's gonna be a Voyage angle. Witchwood versus Grand Tournament. I want maybe one of the worst sets of all time, or at least something that did something to the game. Do I like the expansion that introduced Death Knight to the game, or do I like Prince Renathal more? Death Knight was a good thing for the game, but locations, Prince Renathal, Infuse was a good mechanic. Yeah, I think it's another. Yeah. Oh, another banger here. Cobalt is really good, really fun set. Death Knight, Knights of the Frozen Throne, I think it's just really held up by its flavor in the Death Knight mechanic. Cobalt is so good, bro, and it has Dungeon Run. No, it's probably cool. I really like Cobalt. I actually think it's one of the best sets in the game. Reno versus Reno. This one comes down to excavate, theme, and how the expansion played versus maybe the most impactful venture we've ever seen with the most impactful keyword in Hearthstone. And for that reason, I think we're going with this one. We'll get to one Gore in a second. Okay. I didn't actually really talk about Festival of Legends because it was too easy against Rostakon's Rumble. I think the worst part about Festival for a lot of people is the aesthetic and the overall flavor they were going for. It's not like a music festival is bad. It just doesn't very much fit the Hearthstone vibe, I guess is what I'm gonna say. Listen, you can't sit here and tell me there's not some really cool stuff in Festival. Finale, I think, is a really good keyword. Like, this card's really fun to play with. We also got one of the best cards ever introduced into Hearthstone of all time with ETC. This card is so good. There's a lot of really cool stuff in this set. I'm just gonna be honest. I think this set's really well designed. Let's be real here. Let's have this conversation, chat, because I know a lot of you guys are gonna say Nax, but remember what Nax was. Other than being the first expansion to the game, it was Undertaker Hunter 90% of the time. And that was around until they finally decided to nerf it before GVG came out. I don't know. I think Festival was a good set, but Adventure was good. Even though I didn't like Undertaker, I think it was still really fun, but it's tough. Witchwood, again, let's go through this. Rush, Gen Baku, Hess Greymane, Whispers, all the old gods, including Yogg. Very, very good set post rotation. It was really fun metagame. A lot of stuff was available, or viable, I should say. All the points for Witchwood were negative. Okay, come on, man. Test was fun. Rush was a good mechanic. Witchwood also had Monster Hunt. What did Whispers have? The best set of all time? Oh, don't make me pick. Why is this one hard? They're both very good. These are both really good sets. It's Voyage because Colossals. Yeah, but dude, like Prince Renathal, like, again, other than Tony, in the past 5 years of Hearthstone, Prince Renathal is my favorite card they've ever introduced. Nathra for the story around, but Voyage for the gameplay. This expansion was so good. Dredge is so fun. All right, fucking No, I'll go with Sunken City. I think you could make the claim for both of them. Me, okay. We gotta fucking talk about this now. This is where we get to the juicers, chat. The juicers here. Journey to Un'Goro, flavor-wise, was so good. It was so good. It is my favorite set for flavor of all time. Un'Goro also had quests. It had such a good metagame after the rogue quest was nerfed. After the rogue quest was nerfed, the metagame that followed it was so great. Adapt as a keyword, even though it wasn't the best keyword in the world, was definitely very fun. We also got one of the best game boards of all time. Elementals were fun. Oh yeah, Elemental was not a tag up until this point, by the way. Quest lines, so fun. Firefly, goated. Out of my jungle, oh my god, the boy, he was buff, but yeah, he was super cool. I mean, Floppy Bird was definitely a problem, don't get me wrong. Tar Creeper, chat, like Tar Creeper, but fuck, man. League of Explorers, again, Discover. League of Explorers, obviously. Man, fuck it. It's the GOAT. Oh no. You guys gonna hate me if I pick kobolds over this? Nax, it's just like, again, Nax got here because, you know, it was important for the game. I don't know, dude. Like, kobolds was so good. You guys might hate me, I'm gonna be honest, but I'm picking kobolds and catacombs. Undertaker Hunter was too much. Don't make me pick. Don't make me pick. Before we continue here, chat, there are two sets in this that I have not seen. I think it's important that we talk about it for a quick second before we make that. I'm gonna delay this for a quick second. There are two sets we are missing from this, and I don't know why they're not in it, considering there's 33, but whatever. There is Savers of Uldum, Blackrock Mountain. Now, I don't know why none of these sets are in here. I don't know why. There should only be one missing, but whatever. Chat, I'm gonna be fully transparent with you. What the fuck just happened here? This is my favorite set of all time. I believe Savers of Uldum was the most fun I had in this game. I think Savers of Uldum had the most variety in deck building that I have ever seen in a Hearthstone metagame. Some of you might be confused why I thought Uldum was really, really good. Let's talk about the mechanics first and foremost. Reborn is the first time we saw it. I think Reborn is a really good mechanic for the game. It enables a lot of really cool death rattle stuff, but most importantly, it just plays very nicely. It enables you to fight for board more often because of what Reborn does for the game. I fucking love this mechanic. Most importantly, we got quests that I think were objectively just more enjoyable to play with than the ones in Un'Goro, and I'm gonna say why is because you didn't have to play a 5-minute card after your hero power became it. Even though not all of these were phenomenally designed, like I think the Druid one was a little bit overboard for what you could do because it's a passive ability. All of the quest lines here were really good. On top of that, they introduced Highlander again for like the very first time in years. And all of the Highlander cards were really enjoyable too. I remember people being like, this one's so bad. And I was a part of it. And it ended up being really, really good. And all of them were played. And then we got Zephyrus, which depending on how you feel about the card, you may obviously not like it. But just from a design perspective, it was really cool. And it was so fun to play with. But dude, like I'm telling you, you go through the list of the cards in this set and there's barely any cards here that I would want this set to go. I don't even think there's any card I would remove from this set. It's got Puzzle Box, bro. Can't remember the last time I fell in love with a set like this. I do have to also mention Blackrock Mountain because Blackrock Mountain not only was arguably maybe the best adventure, had a very good flavor and introduced us to some of the best cards, some of the most memorable cards of all time. So many of these cards were great because dragons were so fun to play with and it enabled, I mean, like we got cards like this, don't get me wrong, all of them are great, but my God, this set was so fucking fun, dude. Also, dude, we got Tavern Brawl with this bitch. And the Tavern Brawl was Ragnaros versus Nefarian. That shit was so fun, dude. I missed this set, man. This was a good time in Hearthstone history. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna take this one. Don't get me wrong, I love both of these sets. And I know a lot of people are very nostalgic about Blackrock Mountain here, but I think this set is so well designed. We'll come back to this. When it comes to these two sets, for me personally, I think Sunken City is one of the best sets this game also had. It reminded me a lot of Savers of Uldum. Kobolds is so good. Sunken City is also good though. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm trying to pick here. Journey to Un'Goro versus Whispers of the Old Gods. Un'Goro, very flavorful. Quests were an absolute hit. Brilliant time for Hearthstone. Whispers of the Old Gods, great flavor as well. Old Gods, obviously. As much as I think Un'Goro might be one of my favorite sets, the thing is Whispers of the Old Gods is so memorable for so many people because of just how fun it was to play. I think for a lot of people, Whispers would probably win. The thing is Un'Goro wasn't perfect. Whispers had a lot of, like, Whispers didn't really have any negatives towards it. So it has to be whispers, no? Now, some of you might think this is the final battle. It's not. Remember, lurking in the shadows. I'm gonna do something here because I can't make this decision. Chat, it's time to look towards our AI overlords for this. If you had to pick one Hearthstone expansion that is better than the other, would you pick Whispers of the Old Gods or Kobolds and Catacombs? Oh my God, hold on. What the fuck? This is a better chatter than all of you. If you're looking for thematic consistency and legendary synergy, Whispers of the Old God edges ahead. The Old Gods themselves are iconic and their presence is unforgettable. However, if you value replayability and innovation, Kobolds and Catacombs wins with its introduction of Dungeon Run and more varied archetypes. Personally, I'd give Kobolds and Catacombs the edge because of how impactful Dungeon Run was and how the expansion puts the boundaries of Hearthstone beyond just competitive play. What about you? Do you lean toward one or the other? Kobolds and Catacombs. GG. Now, some of you might be like, okay, Kobolds, which one do I prefer? I actually prefer Kobolds and Catacombs as well, I'm gonna be honest. Chat, you have your best expansion of all time. This is now in stone. You can't change it forever. But actually the best set of all time is Savers of Uldum. I am not gonna take any slander. I'm not even gonna ask ChatGPT. There has never been a better set than this. We'll never have a better set than this. This is peak Hearthstone. If you weren't there for it, I'm so sorry. Now to remind you why this is the case, let me show you something.
Darker than they've ever been.